So today is going to be a quick revisions for the batch that's going to write the exam on the Sunday, and also for the batch which is going to write the next year. We will make it very simple. We will break it down to the easiest form. So before we start, few of the things that we predict they might ask are as simple as this. What is IPC being replaced with? So IPC is right now replaced with nothing but BNS. Okay. Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. They will give it as a drop down. So just remember BNS. The next thing is CrPC has been replaced by Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita. Okay, so the word Suraksha comes here. Okay, Nyaya means like justice, right? So Nyaya. Then the Indian Evidence Act. Evidence means Sakshi, right? Sakshya. So they replaced it with BSA. Okay. So this is what the changes that they have brought in. Okay. Now let's go into the deep one. Now instead of showing you the sections, what we are going to do is a simple exercise first. Let's take a piece of paper and try to map and remember so that we become good with these sections. So let's start with a simple one. We are going to start with the number 214. So this is going to be the number that we are going to start with. So section 214 BNS talks about injury. Okay, the section 214 BNS defines injury. Okay, now the definition goes as any harm to the body, reputation, property of a person, but to section 14 part is going to deal with the injury. Now instead of 2, if we replace it by 114 BNS is going to talk about its defining hurt. Okay, 115 BNS is giving the punishment for hurt. 116 BNS is defining grievous hurt. 117 BNS is going to be for punishment for grievous hurt. 118 BNS is going to give again punishment only, punishment for hurt or grievous hurt caused by dangerous weapon or means. Or means. Okay, so we started with the number 2 and 4. Let's again end it up with the same combination. It's 1, 2, 4 BNS talks about acid attack. Okay, so when they ask you in the exam, use this. Sometimes these are useful where you write down and you tend to remember what it is. So again, start with section 2. It is section 2 bracket 14. That is this clause that's coming as 14. In that they define the injury. Then replace the 2 with 1. 114 started with your hurt. Then they told about the punishment for hurt. Then 116 they talked about grievous hurt. 117 they told the punishment for grievous hurt. 118 they spoke about hurt or grievous hurt using dangerous weapons or meat, and 124 talked about acid attack. Okay, now here let's again break down what change did they actually make in this is in grievous hurt. So in grievous hurt we studied 8 clauses, right? Now our 8 clauses starts with emasculation, Okay, permanent privation of sight, right? Eye. Then they spoke about permanent privation of hearing, permanent privation of a member or joint. Then they talked about permanent privation or dispowerment or in decrease in the power of a member or joint. Then they spoke about disfiguring of head and face, fracture or dislocation. And finally, in the 8th clause, right, in 8th clause of grievous hurt, they said any hurt that endangers life. Or previously it was 20 days, now they made it into 15 days. 15 days of bodily pain or not able to do their ordinary pursuit is considered grievous hurt. So this 15 days was a change that they made. Okay, rest all they retained the same thing. Similarly, when they defined dangerous weapon also, they retained the same things. It's what are dangerous weapons? Dangerous weapons were weapons that were used for cutting, shooting or stabbing. They said the same thing. Let's retain the same thing, cutting, shooting or stabbing. Dangerous means includes your animals, chemicals, corrosives that are used, heated objects, fire, anything that through inhalation or contact causes harm, all that come under dangerous means. Okay, so this is what they defined and they maintained. The only thing is, previously we had it in different sections, now we are having it in new sections. In grievous hurt, they have made it from 20 to 15 days. Okay. Now, so that becomes important, grievous hurt. Know your new names. New names are important. Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, Bharatiya. See, when we say Sakshi means it's witness. Indian Evidence Act became Sakshya Adhiniyam. Okay. Okay. Now, after that, what else did they go about with? Of course, for doctors. That's why we doctors, like, this year they are expected and all these things is because of these changes that they brought in. So let's continue with 215 now. 125, sorry. 125 BNS. Now 125 BNS talks about punishment for rash and negligent act. Okay, so they give the punishment for rash and negligent act where a person suffers hurt or grievous hurt. Now, this is the important section, 106 BNS. Now, in 106 BNS, they talked about punishment for death due to rash and negligent act. Okay, now let's see this. Now, rash and negligent can be anything, right? We carelessly just taking a glass bottle and throwing it out of the window and someone gets hit in that is rash and negligent. A doctor in goodwill while performing a surgery, an error happens, something goes wrong, that is also considered a rash and negligent act. A guy who drinks and drives is also considered as a rash and negligent act. So rash and negligent act has a huge range, right? Rash and negligent act has a huge range. So what they said is, now let's put the punishment in different category. That is why doctors went out and did a strike and everything. And when it is now considered with respect to medical negligence, the punishment can extend up to 2 years. So the punishment has to be within 2 years period. Now, again, let me make it very clear. Here they are talking about criminal negligence, which means the negligence has been very gross, like a wrong limb surgery, Unani patient doing a Unani doctor doing an appendicectomy, gross negligence. Okay. Then they said, okay, in general, like me drinking water and then throwing the glass jar outside is a general act. A guy not drunk driving at a very high speed is a general act. So they all considered for less than 5 years. Now, hit and run is considered up to 10 years. Okay. So this they brought in. Previously, everything together was just 2 years. Now they said like, okay, let's bring it down and break it down, and they broke it down. Okay. Okay. Now let's look into the next part. Next part is where they talked about the sexual offences and everything, right? So there in the clauses, they didn't make the changes, but in the sections, yes, when they realigned it, the sections of course got changed. We are going to make it easy. We are going to study it in a very easier way, right? We started with 214. Now let's take the last letter and make some fun out of it, okay? 6474. Okay, so we are going to study in numbers of 4. Okay, so 64, 74. Later on, I'll be going on to 94, but 94 we will be working in the reverse direction. So let's start with 64. In 64, they spoke about punishment for rape. Okay, punishment for rape. Now let's write down the number. 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71 and 72. All of these, they spoke mainly about either offences against a woman in rape form or in any other. Okay, so let's talk about it. One is punishment for rape. In 65, they spoke about punishment for rape on a female less than 16 years of age and less than 12 years of age. Okay. Then they spoke where a rape results in a female being in persistent vegetative state. Okay. So the female ends up in a vegetative state. Okay. Now, after vegetative state, again, to remember this, you can remember it as a story. A person goes out with his kid less than 16 years and 12 years to buy some vegetables. He brings it to his wife, who is working as a police authority. Okay. And she's just like, making a fake marriage. Okay. So fake marriage. And she has a whole gang behind her. And this is a repeat assignment. So this is one storyline we made. You can make multiple storylines. Kid, vegetables, and of course vegetable. Next we came into wife, right? So punishment for rape of wife. Okay, punishment of rape of wife during separation. During separation. Next, now what was the wife? Authority, right? She was in a authority, right? So punishment for rape by a person in authority. Now here when they say authority, it's a fiduciary relationship that they are talking about. Fiduciary relationship means boss and an employee, a teacher and a student, like that's kind of a fiduciary relationship. Okay, after that, what did they talk about? Like they are living a false life, right? Like, so rape of a female or a sexual intercourse with a female under the false promise of marriage in deceitful means. Okay, so it is okay, false promise. Now 70 talks about gang rape. And 71 talks about repeat offenders. They come back and they do the same offense again and again. Now, 72, it's not a punishment for rape, but it is punishment for disclosing the identity of the victim. So, punishment for this is actually punishment for disclosing identity. Okay, so this is what they said. Okay, so let me take up some questions that you have put. 65, I think it's 65, 66 BNS. Yes, we are talking about BNS sections only. 65 age is for female or no, it is 65 BNS. Yes. Yeah, these are all BNS sections that we are talking about. Okay. See, form a storyline, make a story of your own that you could remember. Okay, make a story of your own that you could remember. Okay. Ma'am, in 106 BNS, 2 years and 5 years, yes, duration of punishment, yes. Any section for rape under intoxication. Rape under intoxication, until and unless age is not a limit, it will all come under section 364 now. Yeah, 64 it will come under. Okay, may rape during separation is cognizable, or all rape offences are considered cognizable offences. All rape offences are considered cognizable offences. So rape is one example where there is no exceptions at all. Okay, so it's all considered cognizable. Any other doubts? Okay, now having said all these things, see, for our remembrance, we started with 64 BNS. But the important point over here is our 63 BNS. Our 63 BNS is the one that defines rape. The legal definition of rape is given in 63 BNS. Okay. So remember it again from 64, walk it down. It starts with any form of rape, whether the patient is unconscious, all those things, under the influence of drug, any other forms of rape comes under section 64. Then 65 talks about age, less than 12 years, less than 16 years. They are all dealt in section 65. 66 onwards, we start with the story. Goes to buy a vegetable. Then comes the 67, where with his wife during separation is considered as rape. Then we talk about section 68, where the person in authority does a rape, means it is dealt over here. 69 is under false promises. 70 is gang rape. 71 is repeat offender. And 72 is whoever discloses the identity of the female victim is considered over here. Okay, under 16 years and 12 years of age. Yes, 16 and 12 are age. Under alcohol, under drug is also under 64. Yes, under alcohol, under drug, these are all considered under 64 only, doctor. Then is 67 bailable? All rape offences again are generally considered non-bailable offences. Okay. Yes, then rape of mentally ill women is also under 64. Yes. When we say 64, 65 and all, and even in gang rape, they divide it again. Okay, so you can read through the intricacies of it, but in 64, what they would have done is, in general, they will take it as rape. Okay, now when you take 64-2, they will start talking about aggravated sexual offense. So aggravated sexual offenses are all these things. When a person is in power, authority, like power in the sense like a police official during a war, in custody, or on a mentally ill person, all these things inside a hospital, these are all considered as aggravated sexual offense, right? So they are all dealt in 64-2. But right now, remember 64 is punishment for rape. And then 65 onwards, they talk about less than 16 and less than 12 years of age. Okay. Yeah. Previous slide. Yes, doctor, I'll show you the previous slide. We are going to revise through it also, but before that, can we finish a small part of it? Okay, we'll just finish a small part of it and then we will go ahead. Okay, whether it is for male or female. Come back to the rape definition. Rape is an offense done by a male on a female. Okay. When we say in 65 they deal about punishment for rape on a female less than 12 years, rape on a female less than 16 years. In female less than 12 years, they give up to life imprisonment also, natural life of a person and everything. Okay. And even death sentences are given. That is why we say rape less than 12 years dealt separately, rape less than 16 years is dealt separately. Okay. Yes. Okay. Have the down session at the end. Okay. Let's go for the next part. All right. Now we started with 64. Now let's start with number 74. Let's start with the number 74. Okay. 74 starts talking about using criminal force to outrage the modesty of a female. So we have 74, 75, 76, 77, 78 and 79. Okay, so these are the sections that we are having. Let's see them. 74 talks about criminal force. To outrage modesty. Now, 75 onwards, let's remember it with the A, B, C, D that we study itself. A, B, C and D. A for harassment, right? Sexual harassment. B for bare. Bare means naked, right? So disrobing, right? Disrobe is considered in B. B for bare. C for seeing, right? Voyeurism. D for detective, which means stalking. And last one, 79, they spoke about word or gestures or act, okay, to insult the modesty of a female. Now again, these are all offenses against females, okay. In this, generally, in rape, it is very clear, male are the ones who are punished, okay, except for gang rape. In gang rape, even females can be punished. Here, these are all offenses against females, okay. So these are all considered as offense against females, okay. Okay, now I said 74 we will be studying with. The next number we will be going with is 94. Okay, the next number we will be going with is 94. Now 94, I would like to work backward. Okay, so from 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93 and 94. Okay, so let's see till here. Okay, 94 is when a mother conceals the birth of her child. Okay, so disposal the birth of the child is dealt here. Concealment, birth of child. Now, 93 BNS talks about abandonment of a child less than 12 years of age. Abandonment of child less than 12 years. Now, why are these sections important to us? We are supposed to give the opinion whether the child was a live born or a stillborn. We give the opinion as to the age of the child, whether the child was less than 12 years or more than 12 years. So that is why these sections become important to us. Now, above that, 88 to 92 talks about criminal offense, criminal abortion. Okay, so now let's see about 88 IPC. 88 IPC is when the abortion is with the consent of the mother. With consent. Now, without consent, next section. Next, criminal abortion that results in death of mother. Okay, criminal abortion that results in death of mother. Okay, now next section is here, child dies and the intent was to kill the child only. Here, next section, child dies, but the intent was to kill mother. Okay. These are the main sections in BNS. These are the main sections in BNS. Okay. Now, let's see a few more R minors punishable under section 94, madam. Okay. So, if female less than 18 years who is considered as a minor, she abandons the birth of a child, it is not only considered as an offense, but it is also comes under rape also. Okay, so less than 18 minor comes under both. Okay, now apart from it, the next act, that is our PNSS, right? Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita. Okay, now in BNSS, I just want you to know three main sections, I would say. 194, police inquest. 196, magistrate inquest. Okay, 194, police inquest. 196, magistrate inquest. Right? Now, these two are important ones and I would like you guys to know about it. The other thing that you can know about is 173, where an FIR has to be filed. So that's one more sections that I would insist on you guys to know about. Yeah. So before we conclude, last few minutes, just let's revise through this whole document so that we all know what we are talking about. Again, this document will be shared with you. Just let's have a quick glimpse into it. So we saw IPC is nothing but Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, right? Then CrPC is Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita. Indian Evidence Act, Sakshya Adhiniyam, right? Indian Evidence Act is Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam. Ma'am, we have again revised the old IPC for exams. See, this whole thing came into implementation in the month of July. Your exams were supposed to happen before that. So IPC is the one that we were predominantly expecting, but since because of the delay, we are expecting some BNS section. For the safer side, this batch alone, I would suggest try to remember both. Try to remember both. Okay. Criminal responsibility of an insane. Is it in your section? Yes, criminal responsibility of an insane is also changed in. It was previously in 84. Now it has become 23 or 24. I'll check that and I'll put in that also. Okay, I'll check that and I'll add it to the same document also. Can you share this document? It was approved. Yes, I would get it shared. Inquest is inquiry into the cause of death, and that is what is dealt in section 194 BNSS and 196 BNSS, police and magistrate inquest, respectively. Okay. What happened to perjury and everything? Okay, again, perjury was in 191. Perjury, they have asked once with respect to the punishment 193. For your reference, I would put it in, but focus on these things. What about the dowry, death, and everything? Okay, now after 190, all your offense against females and everything, they are talking about your dowry death. Not again much important to us because they have separated it now. Exhumation, ma'am. Exhumation is still under magistrate inquest. BNS for dowry death, ma'am. They have taken it separate, doctor. They have not combined it. See, previously it used to be under 304A, 304B, 304A used to be for rash and negligent act death, which was for us, for doctors, medical negligence, and 304B was for the dowry death, but now they have taken it separately. They have put it under your after your sections for indecent assault and everything. So starting with 80, they have put in your dowry death. Okay, ma'am, BNS. I am not getting that doubt. Okay, BNS 88. 88 is criminal abortion with consent. Okay, criminal abortion with consent. Yeah, 80 is where they have taken your dowry death, and further they have taken up all the assault on a female married woman. Offences against married women starts after 80. Ma'am, 64 till 94, is it? Yes, all are BNS except for the last that we saw, it's all BNS. McNaught is in 22 BNS. Again, I'll confirm. I do remember 22 or 23, but I'll confirm it with you. Who will be punished in criminal abortion, ma'am? Okay, so if it's criminal abortion with the consent of the mother will also be punished. If it's criminal abortion without the consent of the mother will not be punished in it. Okay, so whoever does the criminal abortion will be punished in that. Yeah. Any other doubts? Okay, so let's have a quick revision. Okay, quick revision. So we started with 214. Okay, so we started with 214. Okay, so 2 is the section, 14 is in the bracket, and after that we went in for 214 is for injury, 114 is for hurt. Now, the definition of hurt is in 114, the definition of grievous hurt is 116, the definition for dangerous weapons and means is in 118. So, all even numbers are going in for definition. Odd numbers, 115, punishment for voluntarily causing hurt, 117, punishment for voluntarily causing grievous hurt, and your next we saw for 125. 125, we saw punishment for your rash and negligent act. Also do remember section 124 and your section on 106, which is for your death due to negligence. So death due to negligence, if it is a general negligence that they are talking about, they gave 5 years, medical negligence 2 years, hit and run cases 10 years. Okay. So this is one change that they have brought in, and as I said, the other change that they have brought in was 15 days in grievous hurt. In grievous hurt, they have brought in 15 days. Okay. Next, rape is 63 BNS. Rape is 63 BNS. They have brought it under. IPC sections have now all been replaced with BNS, starting with rape punishment in 64. Okay. 64, 65, 64 is for mainly rape and aggravated rape. 65 is for less than 16, less than 12. And after on, we went in from 66 to your 72, right? 72. Okay. Then we saw about our indecent assault, which is dealt in 74. Okay. And then we went in with A, B, C, D. A is for harassment, B is for disrobing bad, C is for seeing, voyeurism, and D is for stalking. Right? A, B, C, D we went under, and we also saw about criminal abortion. Criminal abortion sections we saw in 94 to 88 or 88 to 94. Okay, so all of these are coming under one. Ma'am, cadre of IEA, IO, is it the same or anything? Yes, it's the same that they have maintained, and of course, see, the cadre of IO, they have all given it to the autonomy of the investigating agencies, which means like it depends. In Delhi, like you have a good resource, then yes, you can, higher range of police pulled in. In rest of it, you can have the same range. So cadre and all, they have not made it very specific. Dowry death is in 80, doctor. Dowry death is in section 80. The subpoena, okay, subpoena again was from 60 onwards. Now they have changed it all. Ma'am, for 64 to 72 is all sorts of rape. It happens to be male for two. Yes, rape definition is male on a female except for gang rape. Except for gang rape and all other rape, only male is punished. Okay. Any other question that I can help you with? Okay, 93. What is our okay? So if a parent or a guardian, they suddenly take a child less than 12 years old, leave the child in the beach and come back, means it's considered abandonment of a child less than 12 years of age. Okay. See, for those who are new, it will look like as if we have read a lot of things, but these are spread over a lot of time. Ma'am, for sterilization, husband's consent is needed. See, legally, no, but as per the ethical committee, yes. Okay, so the NMC rule, yes, the husband has to give the consent. So that's why we say for whenever, you go in for sterilization procedures, do consider mainly for, see, they have said artificial reproduction and everything, you take the husband consent. Sterilization, it's the mother's body, she has the right, but ethically if the husband is there outside, do take it. Okay, so legally it's not wrong. Yes, BNS 80 is for dowry death. Dowry death, I'll check it out for you. Custodial rape, okay, see, custodial rape, investigation, inquest, magistrate. Okay, if the death happens in custodial rape, the investigation for such a case will be done by the magistrate. 196. Okay, now in custodial rape, if the female survives, she will fall under section 64. Now, section 64, they will have 1 and 2. In 2, they will consider it as aggravated sexual assault. That's all. But it will be under section 64 only. Okay? Yes, so custodial rape is still under 64 only. Any other questions? Okay, so I think I've answered all the questions. If there are any further doubts, do let me know. Yes, we will share the document with you tomorrow. All the best. Continue to read. Keep your focus on. See, again, these are new things that have come in. We are expecting you to mainly for them to ask maybe grievous hurt, maybe the definition of rape 63 BNS. But I don't think they would jump so deeply for the first batch. So that's what we believe. Mainly focus on the must-know areas. Must-know areas are the must-knows that you have to know. Then this next part comes out, all these BS. Okay. So yes, they might ask IPC has been replaced from, the CrPC has been replaced from, and they might ask a section. But again, focus on the must-know areas. Focus on the must-know areas. Okay, thank you all. Thank you. Ma'am, any change in Indian Evidence Act? Yes, Indian Evidence Act also, all the sections have been changed. See, for your reference, I have put in those, like, for example, if you take your consent of a female should not be questioned during the witnessing, when she's giving the witness, when she's the witness and she's giving the evidence. Consent should not be questioned. Now, this was in 114 Indian Evidence Act, right? Now it has come to 120 BSA. Okay. Similarly, the characteristic of a female, that is, if it's a prostitute, you should not ask, like, what this was your job, this, that. These were all, again, we are talking about witness and evidence, right? So these were all in 146 Indian Evidence Act. Now it has come to 149 Sakshya Adhiniyam. Okay, so all these documents are there available for you. Okay. Less than, okay. Ma'am, less than 16, less than 12, puriyala ma'am. See, in section 65 BNS, you have females who are less than 16 years and you have females who are less than 12 years of age. Now, all of them cannot be punished under the same cadre, right? So, for less than 16, they have given, okay, minimum this many years, maximum can go like this. For less than 12 years, they have extended it up to life imprisonment or death of the person itself. Okay, so that is why we say that like this less than 16, less than 12 is dealt in this particular section. Okay, I hope I'm clear, Dr. Nandini. Is it okay? Yeah, less than 12 is actually a child. We should not call even as a female. Yeah. Section 93, abandonment of a child. It's so neglecting a child. ஒரு குழந்தையை விட்டுட்டு போறது பேரு abandoning a child. According to age of a female years, yes, age of the female. Yes, age of the female has a very big role to play. So, of course, yes, right? A female of 20 years and a child of 12 years, rape on both cannot be considered the same, right? Though it's a cruel offense, though both is traumatizing, but for a child, it's much more painful and traumatizing, right? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. All the best. Continue to read with focus. Keep your focus on. And for the batch that's going on and who join us, we will meet you all tomorrow for the Read With Me session. Thank you. Thank you all.